So there were four items that I'm wanting to show everybody today. The first one was a request to replace images that are coming through from some of our services that were essentially blank when they should have had a nice placeholder in. So things coming from like example.com or placeholder.com, and we wanted to have a nice little default image. So if I just go in here and have it render some images for me, we'll see that we've got our own custom example image. And that was the first one for today. So, I mean, we can certainly change this to be whatever we would like, but just went for a very basic sort of icon and border. So that's the first one. The other aspect of this, I know we sneak peeked this last Friday or a week ago, but the UI elements for history obviously came in this week. They actually went live. But obviously we gave some information on that last week. The next one was a great bit of feedback from one of our friends here at Storytell. Sandy mentioned that she was having some issues when she was selecting text and trying to scroll. So if I just go in here and just get a nice blob of text, let it render that out. So if we go in here and I start to drag, the concern was that the text selection menu was appearing prematurely. So that's been resolved. So now it will not appear until you actually release your mouse, and then you can go in and ask it to give you more information.
Okay, cool. Let's get started with my part. I showed last time the new experiment that we're running on the homepage with the different types of CTAs and Mad Libs and the question library popping open. In this case, I have the question library one. One of the issues was that, and it's not really an issue, it was more like a UI concern. When you don't have any CTAs, like calls to action, like the work-life balance, the hero section with the background video would take up the whole screen up until the screen height, and there was a lot of empty space. I don't have a previous state to show it, but hopefully you remember. But now it's tightly packed, and you can see more of the social proof and testimonials and the other things. So that's one of the fixes. And the other one is if I go to Mad Libs, I don't remember what. Maybe keep Mad Libs. No, just a second, man. Okay, I need to find it. I'm not very well prepared. Okay, so maybe you noticed, but when I open the page, the prompt bar was open and then the Madlib starts rolling in, kind of like the typed text effects that we have going on for the regular text prompts as well. And that's the second fix, that it makes it seem more like actual text you can edit in the prompt bar. And then next up, we have let me find one with a lot of text. We have improvements and extra items and suggestions that you can choose when you hover over text or you select text. So there's been a little bit of restructuring here, not a lot. First thing to mention is that when you do rewrite for a different audience, there's an extra menu here and it's rewrite, so this personality type can best receive it. And then the options are all the different types of Myers-Briggs personality types. So for example, one of them, you can reference it and it's going to give you more details about the personality type and how you can rewrite it for that type. That's one of the extra options under the rewrite. And then there's a whole another menu here called Analyze Feelings and Needs. And it has all these new options that are around like emotions and what needs were unmet and what's actually happening. I don't have an example with emotions in it. I've only been summarizing technical papers, but let's see if there are any emotions in this random technical paper. I'm actually curious what it's gonna say.
Yeah, the future of AGI, I bet there are.
Okay, I'm not sure if it hallucinated these or not, but this is the type of response you'll get if there were actually any emotions expressed in a certain text you'd want to get more details out of. One other thing to mention is there was also some restructuring in the what I call the response actions bar. So next to each thread response, prompt response in a thread, there's this action bar. There used to be a lot of different buttons here. They all got consolidated under get more from this answer. And it's pretty much the same as the text hover suggestions, except that some of the options are out here because they're more useful to users, like copying the text or sharing it and the translation, but the rest are underneath here, so they're more grouped. And this is a bit out of the way on the right side because not many people would want to use this necessarily.
I have a quick thing. I won't even put it on the agenda, but just to give a peek. The other tabs, presentation mode, and we'll share. As I work on permissions and the new collections changes, I just wanted to share the way that I'm building this. When we were building kind of the first iteration of Storytell, we would go in and we would submit a prompt to make sure it worked. But now that we've got, we'd use the UI to submit a prompt to make sure it works. Now that we've got Graham and Andy both on the front end, we can start to decouple a little bit. And so instead of me going into the UI and clicking a button every single time to make sure it works, I'm starting to isolate the back end better than I have in the past. And so what we're looking at here is just a test. This is the test that just verifies that you can sign up okay. And we have this user, Bruce Wayne, who you may know, Bruce Wayne. It's always good when Bruce Wayne's using your system. And we're doing this table test here. And so this is a test step followed by this being a test step. And each one of these are assertions. And so it's, I think, a good framework that's going to make it easy for us to test and maintain the tests rather easily with being able to reuse test assertions instead of duplicating code all over the place. But effectively what this is doing is just saying, hey, we want Bruce to be able to sign up. These are the parameters that we're going to provide to the test, which is coming from this mock context up here. So if we get into the mock context, you could see, there's a concept of we can always get Bruce Wayne, or we could get the Joker or other actors as we do multiplayer. And when we do a sign up action, we want to make sure that the primary email address is that we've fed during sign up as a parameter is actually applied to the record. And so, here we can see that the primary email is the email that we provided as a parameter. And then we want to make sure that we actually find that email as well in the list of emails. And, this is a discrete test right here. That or assertion, I should say, that can be applied to any test. And so we've gotten to the point where we're not, although we need to move very quickly, I think it's as important, if not more important, that we move quickly well. When we were on the verge of running out of cash and we had to get Storytell out there so that we had a good investor story, it was very important just to get the thing out there and in whatever state we could get it out there as fast as we could. But we're also starting to see the consequences of that with a lot of bugs, and sometimes bugs that we fix that create other bugs. And so it's important that we double down on the automated testing. And I just wanted to show that I am doing that. That's all I have to share.